Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing my comic load for the week. Now this is the first but fourth but fifth week of the month comics. Doesn't really matter. DC and Marvel did their last month of December a little weird, only pushing out one or two titles each. So that means the fifth week of the first week of this month is actually going to be what would have been the fourth week of the previous month. Sure, whatever. As long as I get my comics, I could care less. So we might as well just jump into it, and we'll start where we always start, with a little bit of Batman in our life, with Batman the Dark Knight, issue number 15. The end of the Scarecrow story arc. Now, what Greg Hurwitz has been trying to do with the past, 4 or 5 issues of Batman or The Dark Knight, is trying to make Scarecrow a more relevant character. And I feel as though Greg Hurwitz is going to try to do this with a lot of the minor characters or mid-tier minor villains in the Batman universe, because the next story arc is with the Mad Hatter, who, like Scarecrow, hasn't really been relevant in the past few years. I can't even think of a good Scarecrow or Mad Hatter story in the past 10 years. I think the last time Scarecrow was even utilized that well was in Hush, but even then he wasn't really utilized that well. And then after that, when did he show up? He showed up in Face to Face, and I can't really even think about it. Anyways, but that's exactly what Greg Hurwitz has been doing here. He has been making Scarecrow a very dangerous and a very more fresh and relevant character in the Batman universe. Where we last left off with the Scarecrow, he's basically been fear toxicing the Gotham, all of Gotham, and there's only one way to save Gotham because it's slowly deteriorating, and Batman has to make a super heroic choice that, of course, only Batman can do. How does Batman save Gotham? Well, you're just going to have to read and see. On to the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good. Kind of going back there. How Gotham is saved by Batman is just classic superhero badassness. Is it a little cheesy? Kind of. Is it a little far fetched? Kind of, but it's just absolutely badass, and I think that makes up for the kind of far-fetchiness of it. And to say far-fetched in a comic book is a little silly because we have freaking Superman flying around. Why can't Batman do what he does? And I don't want to give away what it is, but it's really nice. I think Damian has been utilized fairly well in this past few issues. He's subtly there, but he's not an integral part of the story. Scarecrow has been very menacing these past few issues too, and we kind of went away from the psychological aspect and went into just let's do this, which is really nice. The only complaint I have with this issue is the fact that Scarecrow and Batman only really has one face-to-face, and it's a little anticlimactic. But besides that, on a whole, the issue was a good issue. Actually, it was a very good issue. I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 5. 4.2 out of 5. How about that? It was fun, enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to the Mad Hatter story arc. So just place that there. On to Batman Inc. issue number 6. So, with Batman Inc., this series has kind of been hit and miss with me lately. One issue will be bad, another issue will be good, another issue will be bad, another issue will be good. Exactly where does this issue stand? You're gonna have to wait for a minute. Basically, Talia is unleashing her wrath on Gotham. Shit has just hit the fan, my friend. Shit has just hit the fan. And Batman needs to deal with trying to save people, defeat the Batman imposter, or the Leviathan monster dude. I still don't know if that guy has a name yet. She refers to him as Batman imposter, but and in addition, try to save Batman Inc. because Batman Inc. is not doing too well in this issue, and some people may not live through the issue. And Batman's just doing the best he can. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, I like the little dialogues that go on between Talia and Batman, the kind of the bickering between the two. The nice references to previous mentioned stuff and continuity was nice, and Batman's action scenes was pretty cool, especially when he's climbing the stairs and taking out all the bad guys. So I did enjoy that, and the tension towards the end with Batman Inc. and some of the members may not making it out it felt real and it felt good. It kept me on the edge of my seat. Um, Bad. I can't really say there was anything bad about this issue. Again, Batman Inc. is a hit or miss series. One hand, I love it. On the other hand, I'm absolutely confused and baffled by it. Luckily, this issue is one of the ones I loved. I will give this a 4.5 out of 5. Batman Inc. was really good this week. Enjoyed it. On to Talon. I almost said Talia. Talon issue number 3. So, basically, our good friend Talon, is going back to his home digs and trying to help out the people that he loves, only to realize that they may not need help, and if anything, he might be the person that needs help. And while this is all going down, a plan is being concocted to once again strike at the finances of the Court of Owls. How far does the Court of Owls reach goes? What does Calvin have to do to protect the ones he loves? And exactly what kind of sacrifices does he have to make? Uneasy alliances? Or does he have to go in the heart of the beast? Let's read and see. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. The art in this is very dynamic. I like how Calvin is kind of a very flawed protagonist. And all protagonists are flawed, but I particularly like the fact that he doesn't always make the right decisions. Actually, the majority of the times he's very headstrong and he kind of goes into things without thinking too well. Uh, and I think it even shows that he doesn't need to be the hero for everyone, that sometimes people can just kind of handle things on their own. But then again, he keeps on mentioning, we're talking about the Court of Owls. Next to the League of Assassins, they're really kind of the top dogs and secret Illuminati kind of like organizations. You just don't want to mess with them. Um, Bad. I don't think there was any bad. This is a great issue. It just wasn't as good as last month's, but I still did enjoy it, so I'll give it a 4 out of 5. The Batman books this week were all very solid. On to All Star Western, issue number 15, featuring Jonah Hex. And it is part of the Black Diamond probability. And just to let you guys know, I've been kind of picking up a few comic book series on the side, very casually, like Firestorm I've been reading on the side casually, and Team 7 is another one. So I'm kind of caught up to date about this whole Black Diamond probability crossover. And it's set in Catwoman, issue number 15, Team 7, issue 2 and 3, and then now in All-Star Western with Mr. Hyde. And so you have the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of character, who is a great villain, let me just say. And he is using the Calypso Diamond, or at least a part of the Calypso Diamond, to create his formula, which he does in effect a particular character in this comic with. And basically, it's Mr. Hyde versus Jonah Hex, and it is a brawl to remember. And even when it's done, it's not done. There's still a lot to go around with this group. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. The fight scene is pretty good. I think it does a decent job tying in the old Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of story with the DC universe, kind of giving it its own twist. And Mr. Hyde is a great villain. Bad is although it's, I feel as though this is gonna be weird. Bear with me. The Black Diamond probability. I like the concept that they're doing with it, but I think at the same time it's all over the place because in Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde right here with All Star Western, it's a small little Eclipso gem with that it kind of affects people, but it affects them in a weird way. Where in Team 7, is it like a virus, and then in Catwoman, oh well, in Team 7 is a big gem also, but it's not till later is it a big gem. And then in Catwoman, it's a big gem also, and it's all being told differently. Maybe there's different properties to the Eclipso gem. Hey, I'm cool with that. I just like there to be a little bit more definition to it. On the whole, it was a good issue. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I think its strong points are definitely clear, but at the same time, it didn't really, I mean, it wasn't overwhelming to me how good it could have been. Um, so yeah, if that made sense. 3 out of 5. Red Lanterns issue number 15. So you kind of have two stories going on. You have Bleeze and Rancor going back to Earth, dealing with Rancor's family, and then you have um, Atrocitus resurrecting the Manhunters, and the Manhunters' new look. Oh, New 52 Manhunters look very intimidating. If that's actually supposed to be their new look, if it's not like some kind of hallucination. But if that's their new look, they look really good. And basically, Atrocitus wants to use the Manhunters, for his own purposes. And at the same time, Belize and Rancor want to get vengeance on the man that killed Rancor's grandfather. Will they be able to get that vengeance? And will Atrocitus be able to control the Manhunters? Or will one of them screw things up? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. The Rancor, the Manhunter stuff is interesting. It is. Atrocitus dealing with these Manhunters, trying to control them, and the cliffhanger at the end is pretty cool. And the new look for the Manhunters is nice. The art in here is pretty good, and the dialogue is pretty spot on. Bad, I found the Rancor story to be okay at best, and I didn't think it really. I mean, it's kind of just there. In addition to that, it says Rise of the Third Army. And we know that the Rise of the Third Army is going to eventually go into the Wrath of the First Lantern, but no Third Army in this, really. A little, but not really. Um, so it was disappointing in that, and the story arc has kind of really fallen apart for me. In that, I'll give this maybe a 2.5 out of 5. I like Red Lanterns. I admit it may not always be the best book, but what I like about it is this guilty pleasure for me. But even then, this issue was kind of meh. Moving on, I Vampire issue number 15. So Andrew Bennett and Tig are going after the Van Helsings with their new companion, whose name I forget, the guy that they turned into a vampire last issue. While this is going on, Mary Queen of the Blood and her companions are trying to find who first sired Andrew Bennett. And while this is going on, really a lot of shenanigans and tomfoolery go on. Basically, Andrew Bennett has to go up against the new leader of the Van Helsings, or kind of new leader. Don't want to give too much away. And at the same time, who sired Andrew Bennett is revealed here. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Let me just say across the board, everything was good. Dialogue, pacing, characters, art. I Vampire has been a standout series in the New 52. And then again, I go back to this, I say this again and again. Everyone thought it was going to be like Twilight, kind of vampire-ish, but it's really is a great interpretation of vampires and a really nice self-contained story in the DCU, and I really do enjoy it. I'm just gonna right away give this a 5 out of 5. Justice League Dark issue number 15. So the Justice League Dark need to kind of go after Tim Hunter and Zatanna. So they go through a lot of magic and kind of loopholes in the magic universe to find this place where Zatanna and Tim Hunter are, which leads them to this dimension which magic is so skewed. For example, and I don't want to give too much away, Black Orchid's power turns her into like a red version of um, Swamp Thing. Deadman is turned alive. Deadman is alive, and various different things. Zatanna's powers go funky. Constantine is affected in his own way. The only one that's not really affected is Frankenstein. So yeah, good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, I like the whole powers getting kind of screwed up kind of thing. It made things interesting. And I like the fact that Zatanna and Hunter are still present. They're not like shoved to the side for the story of the sake of the story. They're still there, which is nice. And I think the story itself is interesting. And I do love this version of the Justice League Dark. As much as I would like Animal Man and Swamp Thing to jump on there after their respected stories are done, I think this is a good balance with Black Orchid, Constantine, Frankenstein, Zatanna, and Deadman. It really is a nice balance. And I guess Madame Xandu, but she's kind of the Professor X of this team. She does things in the background. So I did like that. Bad, I felt the pacing was a little off, and um, I felt more could have been thrown into the story. And the Constantine stuff, if it was a good idea, but I think it was executed badly. On a whole, I'll give this 3.5 out of 5. I enjoyed it. Justice League Dark is always fun. Um, oh, and the whole science mechanized robot police. Not much was given about them, and I would like to know more. That's another thing that bothered me. But 3.5 out of 5. Good issue. Enjoyed it. On to Death of the Family, Teen Titans issue number 15. So it's really Red Robin versus the Joker. But don't think the Teen Titans won't show up in this. Oh, they do. Oh, they do. There's really two stories that go on in this. First is Tim Drake versus Joker, and the dialogue and the banter between the two of them is fantastic. Tim Drake is put into his original Red Robin costume, which is, if you can picture it in your mind, really just the 1 year later Robin costume that he wore, the all red and black, without the underwear on the outside. It looks awesome, and it really should be his Red Robin costume, not the messed up one he has now. Because I've always liked that Robin costume. It looks good for Tim, and he should wear it. So they put him in that costume, and he again looked good in it. And the dialogue between him and Joker, the nice banter was going on, which Joker just kind of reveals to him. All the Robins had their own niche, but you always thought you were the better of the Robins. You always thought you were the best. On the other hand, you have Batgirl working with the Teen Titans, and the Teen Titans trying to find Robin, only to fall into the pitfalls and traps that the Joker lays for them in various different ways, and kind of smart ways too. And it all leads off to a cool cliffhanger, which ties into Red Hood and the Outlaws. Shit is starting to get real, and it really is starting to get exciting, because see, Batman was out for what, 2 or 3 days after his confrontation with the Joker, and during that time, that's when all this Death of the Family stuff was happening. So if you think about the first day, Joker probably went up against Nightwing. The second day, he went up against the Teen Titans and Red Hood. Those two will tie together. And the third day, he probably went up against Batgirl, which will then all lead into which will all lead into Batman issue number 15, and then after issue 15, Batman Robin issue number 15 happens. So trying to plan this out, it's kind of making sense. Um, I thought the dialogue between Joker and Red Robin was really fun. I love Tim's costume in it. I wish they would say with that. It's probably going to be a one-time thing. I like how Joker kind of goes up against the Teen Titans indirectly, uses them to his own means, and then the final introduction with the Teen Titans and the Outlaws felt a little bit more badass than it did in Red Hood and the Outlaws. Bad. The only real bad I could say is I thought Batgirl was very underutilized. I mean, she kind of set the tone for how dangerous the Joker was, but that's about all. She didn't really do much. She kind of just hopped around. Besides that, 4.5 out of 5. Teen Titans was really good this week. I did enjoy it a lot. The Savage Hawkman, issue number 15, part of Hawkman Wanted. So Deathstroke shows up in this in the first half, and they kind of go up against Warhawks, and then after that, Hawkman goes to take on Shira directly, only for there to be a huge revelation on who's really behind everything going on, which ties back into previous Hawkman issues. And I will leave it at that. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. I just want to say right here, it says Rob Liefeld. I think Rob Liefeld only plotted. The dialogue, the actual layouts, the scripts were all done by Tyranny. And hopefully I can get the name correctly, so I'm going to take it out of the sleeve and make sure. Because Rob Liefeld's not with DC anymore, and they probably just left the story there for him. Yeah, it's plot. Script and everything's by Frank Tyranny, and I hope I pronounce that correctly. In saying this Hawkman Wanted story has really taken some great twists and turns. The introduction and usage of Deathstroke, I think, was handled very well. Hawkman's kind of a more edgier character, so he blends well with Deathstroke. And the dialogue for Hawkman in this is really good, especially how he feels so comfortable as a warrior. The twist at the end was so excellent in delivery. And I'm really, really, really eager to see where things go from here. I really am. Bad, none. A Savage Hawkman this week was really solid. 5 out of 5. On to Flash, issue number 15. So, Flash in this issue is basically recovering from his attack with Grodd. And he uses what is called the Flash Mind, which is the ability to predict or to see various different outcomes that could happen in a scenario. He used this in previous issues. Ugh, excuse me. Previous issues in the first story arc when he fought against Manipul and not Manipul. Oh god, that sneeze just kind of threw me off. Whew. Manual. And basically it's not telling the future, it's just seeing different outcomes. And we get like a three well, it's not a 3 page, it's more like a 4 or 5 page splash of just seeing these possible outcomes and them they converging. And you get an idea that maybe not every outcome will happen, but bits and pieces of them will happen, and none of the outcomes are good. Uh, it really kind of, and the thing is, you have to be careful because this could be a fast issue for a lot of people. But if you sit there and you read each outcome, it really it tells a story in of itself. Um, and then Flash comes to the conclusion of what he needs to do. He needs to take one of those paths in order to face Grodd. And again, not all of them lead to good results. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. The tension in this comic is just so real, and the emotion in it is so real. From Patty just interacting with Flash to Gorilla Grodd possibly winning in every scenario, or at least Flash never winning in any of the scenarios. The layouts in this was beautiful. The flash mine that was used, and how interesting it was that each outcome had like a different but similar result. Um, and it really does set up for the next issue beautifully. Bad zilch. Flash has been a consistently good book throughout the New 52. It really has, and I've enjoyed it every step of the way. 5 out of 5. Pick it up. And the last book this week is going to be Hell on Earth's Superman issue number 15, with good old Lex showing up. And I have to say, this is the cover of the week for me. It's a really cool cover. It's kind of hard to see with on camera, but it really is just a cool cover. Basically, Superman takes Superboy to go see Lex Luthor, who is in this prison that is made just for Lex. And Lex is super happy to have visitors. And basically, the majority of the issue is Superboy and Superman kind of having their discussion back and forth about each other in their lives while trying to get through this prison, and then finally meeting up with Lex. And what Lex knows and what Lex reveals could change the course of this story. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, I think Lex was portrayed very well. My favorite interpretation of Lex has always been the All-Star Superman's interpretation, where Lex is incredibly smart and a little disattached from everyone because he is so smart. You kind of get this feeling here with Lex. The dialogue between Superboy and Superman is really fun. The surprise guest starring at the end is really nice. I like the individuals that show up at the end. Although brief, is kind of cool that they show up. And I think the comic was paced very well. And again, the dialogue between Superman and Lex was really great. And I think Lex was handled, and I'm sure I said this before, but I think he was handled very well in this issue. Bad. The only bad I can really say is Superman goes for answers, but he never really gets them from Lex. But besides that, I don't think it really was too much of a bad. I will still give this a 5 out of 5. Superman this week was really good. It's good to see the title getting better and better, because Superman's kind of been on the cuff lately. You don't know where it really stands with the comic, but at least in the early going with the New 52. And I don't think it was because Superman was necessarily bad, it's just compared to everything else, it was kind of meh. But with this Hell on Earth story, it's starting to get more and more interesting, and it's going to lead into the assault on the Fortress of Solitude, and then it's going to keep on leading. So I think this Hell on Earth stuff is going to go on for like a year, and I am actually pretty pumped for it. On a whole, this week, as you saw, it was a pretty strong week. Some so-so titles, but for the most part, we got 3 5 out of 5s, which were Flash, Hawkman, and Superman. Of the bunch, I'm gonna give it to Superman this week, probably because with Flash you expect it to be good, and Hawkman has been fun, but Superman, I loved Lex in it. I think Lex was really great in it. Um, but on a whole, this was a pretty fun week. It felt like a short week though, even though I got 11 titles. I mean, I got Queen Sonya, but I can't read Queen Sonya yet until I've caught up on it, and I still have a couple issues left to get. But yeah, on a whole, it was a pretty fun week. As for any news or updates or anything like that, as you can see, I kind of rearranged my display here, and I can't really show you too much in detail. Um, Oh, what the heck? I'll grab the computer and bring it over there. It may not be as well lit because I'm using my webcam computer, but let us go. Originally, I kept all my, and if you can see that, well, these are my issue number ones, my Justice League issue number ones that I had, and I used to keep my Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Flash figures here along with my Cyborg figures. And I had, Flash, Green Lantern, Justice League, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman framed up there, which I like. What I'm gonna do is this is also all my games down there. What I'm gonna do is when I get my Figma Link figures, I'm gonna put them there and make this more of a video game section. I also have my GI Joes over there with all my Batman figures and some various different other stuff. But if we do the walk around, here's all the comic book boxes. What I basically did is I took all the Batman figures. I have a lot of them in this bag down here. I don't know where I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna try to find a place. Basically, right here. I'll turn the light on. Maybe this will help. Not really. This is supporting cast Batman. So you have Catwoman, Nightwings, Robins, Jason Todd's, Alfred Fellover, and then the Batgirls. And then if you come over here, what I basically did is I'm doing a Justice League display. So at the very top, we have the Flash figures. I feel bad for Flash and Cyborg because I only have a couple figures of each. But in the center will be each of the Justice League, New 52. So if you look up here, and I don't know if you can see it because I can't see my computer, but you got Flash, New 52, and then all my various Flash figures. And then if you go down, you have Wonder Woman, all my various different Wonder Woman figures. I include her supporting cast because it's only a couple there. And then if you go down, you got Batman, the New 52 Batman in the center, like the New 52 Wonder Woman Justice League. And then I tried to pick my favorite Batman figures from out my collection. So my favorite Batman figure, the New 52 one. Then I have the George Perez History of the DC Universe, Ed McGuinness's Batman, Superman's, the animated series Batman, the Justice League Batman, another New 52 Batman, which someone pointed out, it can be like David Finch's Batman, which I thought was actually a pretty good idea. Hush Batman, the DC superheroes, Batman, Robin, two-pack Batman, first appearance Batman, Golden Age Batman, Alex Ross Batman, Arkham City Batman, the movie Batman's, the Batman, and Brave and the Bold Batman, then some of the Infinite Heroes. I might mix this up a bit, but I just picked my favorite Batman figures and use that. And then I have the Superman figures with, again, New 52 Superman, the Superman imposters from the Death of Superman. So you have Cyborg, Superman, Steel, the Eradicator, Superboy, and Superman with his recovery suit. Got some other Superman stuff here. Ed McGuinness again. I love Ed McGuinness's figures. The Superman red and blue, Alex Ross Superman, the Supergirl section right here, if you can see that. And then I have the Green Lantern section down here, which I am going to be changing up. But again, you got the New 52 Hal Jordan in the center, Kyle, John Stewart, Sinestro, some more Sinestros, Kilowog, Atrocitus, some more Hals over here, Ed McGuinness and Alex Ross, and then you got first appearance oh, excuse me, first appearance Green Lantern right there. And then down here is my Aquaman section. Again, New 52 in the center, and then all the various different Aquamans throughout. And wow, and I'm surprised on how many Ed McGuinness figures I have. I display them all, but yeah, all the various different Aquaman figures right there. And then at the bottom, I hate to say I only have two Cyborgs, and I hate myself for that because I love Cyborg so much. So I'm going to be picking up more Cyborg figures. But I also got these three figures from my comic store. I got them all for $25. I got Saint Walker, LaFreeze, and Indigo 1, which was pretty good. The only thing is they're missing the handles on their lanterns, but besides that, that's cool with me. So I have this display that I'm doing with my figures. What I might do is I might want to put more Justice League figures around, but I want this to focus on the core 7 of the original Justice League. So, yeah, and then over there I have my Luke Skywalker section, which is nothing but Luke Skywalker, X-Wings, can't really see it too well, and Mara Jade. I have my tribute to The Rock right there, and then the Power Rangers up there. So, I know that wasn't the, well, if you see here, I also have my Jean-Luc Picard section. You can't really see it that well. And then I have my, oh, what are they called? Freaking A. I'm having a brain freeze. Dark Side Soldiers. Oh my god, this is not good. I need to get with the program. I know that wasn't the best display in my room. I'm kind of still in the works of changing things around and making things look a little bit better. I'm waiting for the Figma links to come in so I can really display all my video game kind of uh, figures, but I figured I'd just show that to you guys and let you guys see how I'm trying to rearrange my room. Hold on one sec. I can't believe I completely forget how. God, that is not good. Hold on one second. One sec. I'm a freaking idiot. It just kind of like left my brain. Parademons. Why the hell did I keep on trying to say demonites, but no, it's not demonites. Parademons. Really messed me up. But yeah, that's a little bit of display in my room. When it's nice and better and it looks good, I can show you a full display. But that's how I'm doing the figures now. What I'm really happy about is I like the look of this display with my favorite of each. I just don't like how I have so little of Cyborg and Flash. I only have really three Flash figures of Barry Allen and then two Cyborg figures. So I got to get more of that. But what I did like is the fact that I got LaFreeze and Saint Walker and Indigo 1 for only like $25. Because I know LaFreeze is really rare. I just don't know how much. So, but that's going to be all for today. Thank you very much. I'll try to get more videos up when I can. It's just been kind of a hectic week with the holidays and everything. But we'll work on it, okay? I will talk to you and see you guys all later. What was your favorite comic this week? Let me know. I'm curious. Was it Superman? Was it Flash? Was it Green Lantern? Was it one of the Marvel comics? You let me know. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.